Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Combo League podcast. We're here doing the Week 14 recap. I am your host, Lima, and alongside me is our other host, Avengers.
What's up, guys? It's great to be back.
Alright, so we're going to try doing a little something different this week. We're going to review the games that have something to do with playoff implications since we're getting close to the postseason. So the first game is the Redskins and the Chiefs, and this is a little surprising to see this score. I thought the Redskins would come out on top, and I thought the score would be closer than that.
But look at that box score where it says the Redskins did so much better on offense than the Chiefs.
Yeah, and you see, checking that, the next thing you look at is turnovers, and you see the Redskins had 6, and the Chiefs only had 2.
Yeah, they sure did. I'm so glad I messed up for the Chiefs right now. They have done so well coming back from their beginning of the season.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better now. I think he's listening to this and he's hearing me say that I'm voting against him, so he's trying to change things up and prove me wrong. Which, I mean, good for you. Keep doing what you're doing. So, moving over to passing, you see right away 5 interceptions for the Redskins quarterback, Brady Wandisimo. And he did have 3 touchdowns, but the 5 interceptions are gonna hurt a lot. And Hogan.
Really didn't do much. Yeah, he really did not do much. 136 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. It does look like offense is the big idea here in this week's game.
Yeah, and like we said, the Chiefs didn't have too many yards. It was all Redskins for yards, but he probably got a lot of turnovers, close to scoring range. So, moving to rushing, you see the Redskins running back with 27 attempts and 117 yards for a 4.3 average, no touchdowns. And then DeMarco Murray not doing too bad with 10 attempts for 90 yards and then 9 yards per carry and a touchdown.
And it looks like the Chiefs stepped it up this week, knowing the Redskins likes to run the ball, and he kept it. Even though he did have 117 yards, those attempts show how many times he had to do just to get to that over 100 yards.
Yeah, because 4.3 average isn't bad, but in this league it seems like a lot of people have had a lot higher averages throughout games. So
4.3, yeah, it's 3. That's 3. That's 3 to get a first down the rushing game.
Yeah. And then going over to the long, you see that DeMarco Murray had a 75-yard long run. So prior to that run, he wasn't doing much, but that did make his game look a lot better.
That's probably how he got his touchdown, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
75-yard run, he got his touchdown too.
Yeah.
Who did the best on the receiving side? Now, look at who's up top. Not a very surprising
Yeah.
Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey's usually always up there. Yeah. Our Chiefs guy really knows how to hit him.
I think the Redskins did actually say he did play a lot of players through injury this week. So they were probably down on a lot of overalls and a lot of their key stats.
Yeah, and you see that things were pretty spread out through the Redskins. You look at touchdowns, you have 3 different receivers with the touchdown. And all 3 of those receivers with the touchdown each had 3 receptions, so you could tell he spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, but like we always said in the beginning, he did have 5 turnovers, trying to get those just 3 touchdowns. Which, to me, is not too surprising when the Chiefs did, or, yeah, I'm going to say did, I don't know about now, did have the best team stat for passing. They could shut down the pass.
Yeah, he's on defense. He's built to shut down the pass. He's got a good user, and he doesn't use it with one player every time. He uses it with a few different players, but he's more suited to stop the pass. But he did do a decent job stopping the run this game too.
We moved to defense. Phillip Gaines, another cornerback. quarterback having a game with 2 sacks.
Yeah,
And
and
then a strong safety getting in there for his own sack on the Redskins side.
yeah, the Chiefs guy is another guy that likes to send corner blitzes.
Not the best stats for sacks, but Mario Davis, Davis Brown, on both sides, 2 middle linebackers, both had interiors.
Yeah, and
Dory Jackson and the break Ryan, D4.
yeah, D4 is another linebacker with the pick. He likes to use outside linebackers and use the outside parts of the field instead of the middle, which is different. A lot of people use their middle linebacker.
What is this?
Ooh, 3 defensive touchdowns. Wow. So that was
Kilo, Demario Davis, and D Ford, all linebackers had defensive touchdowns.
yeah, and that's obviously that's why his yardage wasn't as high on offense. And if you go to it,
He didn't have to play much offense.
it looks like the Chiquilo was a fumble recovery return for a touchdown. The other 2 were pick sixes.
9 yards though. It was a fumble for 9 yards.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to the Chiefs for putting another win on their season and hopefully putting another win to make sure they keep their division.
All right. So the next game was Panthers and Bears, but your boy already clinched the division, so we really don't need to get into that one.
Really what the next game is that's a playoff implication is the Colts versus Seahawks. Now, if y'all did watch last week, the Seahawks was in the running with 2 other teams in the NFC for a playoff spot, and the Colts was trying to come back to win your division, actually, try to take that from you.
Yeah, and he actually ended up doing the opposite. He lost a game in that, so now I have a 2-game lead. But looking at these stats, you see it was a defensive game most of the way. The Seahawks having 208 and the Colts having 181, and you see -10 rushing yards. And then turnovers were pretty big.
Neither quarterback doing well at all in this game.
Yeah, 6 interceptions with Kaepernick.
3 for Big Ben, and he did have 3 touchdowns to counteract the 3 interceptions, but not many yards either.
Yeah, and then looking at rushing, you see Le'Veon Bell 20 attempts for 88 yards, and Darius Jackson for 2 attempts for 5 yards, and Le'Veon Bell did get that touchdown. But then I want to sort this, so we see the bottom. You see Kaepernick with a 15-yard loss. I wonder how that wasn't ruled a sack. I wonder if it was a quarterback design run and he just lost that much yards, or he was trying to scramble and try and get out of trouble and ended up losing that much. But that's interesting.
I think I was talking to Profit earlier today before this, and he said the best stat was not the rushing yards or the touchdown. It was Le'Veon Bell breaking 9 tackles in that game.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, 9 tackles in one game is a lot to break.
I'm scared for this receiving, which Des Bryant, only receiver to flip on.
Yeah, and doing it off 7 receptions too, so you can tell they weren't, money plays, but they got the job done. Oh, I don't want to say they got the job done, but yeah, they got him over 100.
Their main curse only 2 attempts or 2 receptions, 39 yards, and his own touchdown. If you go down, Jimmy Graham coming in with his big size, his height, and how big he is with those 2 touchdowns on short plays.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a huge red zone threat. You see his long was 8 yards, so those other 2 must have been really close to the end zone. Moving over to defense. No sacks in this game. But you see, of course, the Seahawks interceptions, 2 with KJ Wright, 2 with Wagner, 1 with Earl Thomas, and another with Richard Sherman. So none of those 4 names are surprising when you see interceptions.
I think Prophet also said Bobby Wagner actually got hurt.
Yeah, now that you say that, I do remember him saying something like that.
So hopefully that doesn't affect his team. And actually, there was a block kick. That's the first time I've seen that in this season. Game with a block kick.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And then you see there was a defensive touchdown by the Colts, Andres Polite. It was a pick 6.
I bet you he was apologizing for that touchdown. Well, congratulations to the Seahawks for adding another win onto their season, trying to make that playoff spot. Hopefully, maybe the Colts aren't out of the season yet.
Let's see. Next game with playoff implications is the Browns and the Steelers. This was a surpriser, with the Steelers leading the division and in the top 4 most of the season, losing this one to the division opponent Browns by a score of 27-14. Let's take a look at these stats. Oh, another game with negative rush yards. Usually you don't see any of those in a week, and now you're seeing 2 of them. And again, looks like it was a defensive game. 232 yards for the Steelers, 222 for the Browns. And turnovers wasn't one-sided either. 3 for the Steelers and 2 for the Browns. But so it sounds like defense was a lot to play in this, or had a lot to do with this game. And you see Russell Wilson with 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and choke artist, aka Blaine Gabbert, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Blaine Gabbert. Oh, my bad. Yeah, my bad.
I know you don't like Blaine Gabbert, but still.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Isaiah Crowell with 12 attempts for 59 yards, and you see another 4.9 average. Devion Foote, who was leading Offensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC, sorry. He only had 5 attempts and 6 yards. And then Russell Wilson with a 7-yard loss.
Probably another game where the quarterback play.
Yeah. And then going to receiving, you see that Chris Conley had a big game with 5 receptions for 146 yards, 29.2 average, and 2 touchdowns. And so, I mean, he was really the Browns' main target. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 other players with targets, and then Conley's got the most of them.
What I'm surprised to see is that Khalif Raymond is actually the top receiver for the Steelers. You haven't seen him much this season.
Yeah, you really haven't.
It's been Sammy Coates and Julio Jones.
Yeah, you really do see a lot more Julio, and only having 2 receptions for 22 yards. So good job by the Browns limiting those receptions for Julio and Sammy Coates. And moving
Defense to sacks.
another corner.
I'm not surprised to see.
Yeah, another corner leading in sacks for the Steelers, which isn't surprising. He likes to run a lot of corner blitzes.
No, John Shazier with 2. And Myles Garrett with 2. Oh, my bad. I'm on tackles and loss. Yeah, it is Jonathan. Which Jonathan Jones is always on top in any Steeler game for sacks.
Yeah. But Dupree on the edge with another sack.
And Christian Kirksey, J.J. Watt, not surprising
Okay, so interceptions here. You have 2 for Travis Feeney, and from the looks of it, they were both pick sixes. Yeah, they were. Yeah, and that's probably what took this game away, because it was really close in yardages. So those 2 pick six really hurt. And then, not surprising to see Shazier with an interception. Joe Hayden moved back at free safeties. Also not surprising to see him with an interception. He's a little underrated in this game, I think.
I do too. Good job to both Steelers and the Browns, but the Browns came out with this one. Still trying to fight for a playoff spot.
Alright. And the final game that we're going to talk about with playoff implications is the Giants and the Cowboys. I mean, this...
I did not see this one.
Yeah,
Being this far apart.
really, I don't think anybody saw this, except for probably Julio, if you asked him. But, yeah, you see another game. I mean, really, he won this in all parts of the game. He had almost 100 more offensive yards. He had 3 more turnovers, or 3 more, interceptions or fumbles recovered.
3 less turnovers.
Yeah, sorry, that was better wording. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he won all parts of this game. So moving to passing, you see.
These last few weeks for Dak Prescott have not been well.
Yeah, really. I mean, yeah. If you remember the very first podcast we did, I don't remember what week it was, but it was pretty far into the season, and he had 0 interceptions on the year. And in the last few weeks, he's really catching up.
274, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Not a good game for Michael Had. 229 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Dak another downfall for both teams on passing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's with with the way these two play defense. It's not surprising that you would see interceptions in this game, but it is surprising, like you said, you see Dak Prescott with 5. And with a rookie with 3 interceptions, it's not too surprising, just because their accuracy, even if you're making good reads, they still tend to overthrow or underthrow just because their accuracy isn't quite there yet. And moving over to rushing, you see really not that good of a game rushing-wise. The top rusher was 70 yards off 21 attempts for only an average of only 3.3, but he did get 2 touchdowns.
He also doesn't have Paul Working.
That is true. So he was forced to use a rookie backup running back. And
He still had 2 touchdowns.
yeah. Well, he's 6'1", 221, so I'm guessing he's more of a power back. The type of guy that can pound it in when it gets close to the goal line. But the surprise here... Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. 26 yards off 9 attempts for an average of 2.9 yards per carry. That's not what you want to see.
But with that New York Giants defensive line, it's not that surprising to see.
Yeah, you're right. And then we go to receiving. You see he kind of made up for having a poor game on the ground. He caught 8 receptions for 84 yards. And yards after catch was 75, so you could tell a lot of them were out of the backfield, and he was just able to break tackles out in the open space and get going.
New York Giants tight end again, top rookie, 7 receptions for 49 yards and touchdown. And Julio stopped that passing game for Odell under 100 yards. And Sterling Shepard, 2.24 yards.
Well, I mean, if you're making progress, if you're getting big plays with your tight end, who's a bigger body, who can catch more in the middle, I mean, keep doing it. So, yeah, it is a surprise to see Shepard that low, but whatever's working for him is working. Moving over to the defense, looking at sacks. Nobody with more than one sack, but wow, Greg Hardy's a name I haven't seen in a long time, really. Yeah, you see B.J. Goodson, linebacker with a sack for the Giants, and defensive end, a rookie, getting another sack, and then you have a safety and another rookie sharing that sack.
That's a weird combination to actually see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, usually if it's a safety they get the full sack because they're in there blitzing.
So many interceptions.
Wow. Yeah, those interceptions were definitely split out.
Let me see something, because there was a 46 or 46-yard interception.
Ooh, there were 3 defensive touchdowns.
And it's weird because 2 of them are by the Cowboys themselves.
Yeah.
So it's really weird to see that they lost.
Yeah, but Anthony Brown, he's got that speed. It's not a surprise to see him getting a pick 6. If he's intercepting it, there's a good chance he's going to return it.
The rookie middle linebacker,
So Nate Bentley had an interception and a fumble recovery. I'm guessing it was the fumble recovery that was for a touchdown because it was for 19 yards and the interception was only for 1 yard.
Unless it was on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. But
Good job, Julio. Keeping up, trying to get his own playoff spot, competing with the Redskins and the Seahawks now.
yeah, definitely a good job by him. It definitely makes the division a lot closer too. Speaking of that, let's move over to the standings and see what that did. What all of those games did actually. As soon as we open up, you'll see something different from the last multiple weeks that we've done this. You'll see that the top 4 is completely different with the exception of the 1 and 2 spots. You see the Vikings coming up and the Patriots coming up, so that means the Cowboys and the Steelers both dropped out of the top 4. And Vikings and Panthers still the only 2 teams that have really clinched the playoffs, even though we know a few more teams are obviously going to be making it.
The top 10 actually changed if you really want to look at it. 49ers at number 7, now I'm at 8. Giants moved up to 9 and the Chiefs are at 10. Moving the Redskins actually down to the 11th spot.
Yeah.
Seahawks moving up to 12.
And really, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 way tie for that 9 spot, but obviously tiebreakers are taken into account but we do have a lot of teams at 8 and 5.
NFC North, like always, one of the biggest division rivalries between 3 friends. Steelers, Ravens, Browns actually moving from 7-5 to 8-5. And Steelers losing that game, making this an anybody's ballgame.
Yeah, and
It sucks for me because I'm in the middle of both of them.
yeah, I mean, you are in the middle, but I think the result from last week, the Browns beating Steelers, is probably better for you because even though the Browns got closer to you, it still gives you a better chance of taking over the division complete. So
AFC South, which is your division, which you now have to you're feeling really great about having.
yeah, it's definitely a little more comfortable than the 1 game lead, but I still have to play the Colts and I play the Texans, which is a new user. So I play 2 more division games and then I play someone from your division, the Browns. So I wouldn't say I have an easy schedule coming up.
No, not at all. It's not with the Colts trying to make you fall
Yeah.
and then take over. Texans, I don't know about the Texans. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he is a new user, but we don't know how he's going to be yet. So like you said, we'll see.
You see, which is really close,
Yeah,
depending on the Jets.
it really got a lot closer too. You see the Jets losing their last game and the Patriots still winning, so they're only one game apart now. So, and I'm not 100% sure. Okay, no, I was gonna say I think the Jets and the Patriots might play each other, but that's a well, actually, if you go to division wins, you see the Jets are 4-0, which means they still have to play 2 more division games, and the Patriots are 3-2, which means they have to play 1 more. So it's possible that they could still play each other 1 more time.
I feel like that both the 3-2, which means the Patriots do both play the Jets, because the Dolphins have played all 6 of their divisions.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, we'll probably say pretty confidently that they still have to play each other 1 more time. So, I mean, really, the Patriots can definitely still capture that division. AFC West. Well,
Chiefs, even though they won.
yeah, this is still a close division, but I think the Chiefs have this one in the bag. I really do. Last week I wouldn't have said that, but after seeing the Chiefs beat the Redskins the way he did, I'm gonna say that he's got this one locked in the bag.
Good luck to all of the AFC.
And moving over to NFC in the North, I mean this nobody's obviously catching him since he's already got the Y. This division, it's got some good people in it, but they just haven't been able to play for personal reasons. I really hope they can get back in this next season.
Yeah. NFC South, another division. The Falcons, they keep trying to come back. But of course the Panthers have it already with that undefeated record.
Yeah. The Falcons can.
Still don't have a chance.
Yeah, Falcons can still get the wild card spot. But I mean, this is another division that's a little disappointing. Not.
And then
This is a really close. This is, even though it's 2 games, I'm sure the Cowboys are kind of sweating a little more now because he still has to play the Giants 1 more time.
and the Giants and Redskins both have an 8-5 record.
Yeah.
Meaning they're competing for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
In the NFC West, with the Seahawks winning, also joining them at an 8-5 record.
Yeah.
3-way game.
And one of those, the thing that sucks is one of these 3 really good teams is going to miss the playoffs. But and it really the Seahawks, like as I've already said, I think the 49ers have this in the bag. But you see that they don't have the Y, so they haven't clinched the division yet, so it's still possible. But I still do see the 49ers winning this division for sure.
And then I guess the last thing on our agenda is who won the weekly awards. Tell us, Lima. Let's see who won those weekly awards.
Alright, coming in, we go to week 14. You see a rookie on there. That as soon as I came in, that caught my eye. I mean, you see a familiar face, Von Miller. John Ross. I mean, you expect him to be in there with that speed that he's got. But I do want to talk about that rookie receiver for the Broncos with 368 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, and 36 receptions. I mean, he fed him the ball the whole entire game.
Yeah, he actually did feed him the ball the entire game, and he actually paid for that too. He actually had 5 touchdowns on that game, but he also had 5 interceptions along with it.
Yeah, I mean, a good job to that rookie though for making those catches and being that target to go to.
And then Worley, his free safety, coming in with 6 tackles,
4 interceptions. Wow, yeah. Yeah, so a big game by the Broncos offensively and defensively with some key players in there. And Von Miller, 4 sacks and 7 tackles. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised at that one player of the week. But yeah, good job to Von Miller for being that go-to guy on the edge. You know, you can count on him.
Well, as always, good job to every team this week. Win or lose, everybody still has a chance to do something. We wish everybody luck in the coming 3 weeks we have left before the playoffs.
Yeah.
Being so tight of divisions, everybody trying their hardest this year.
Yeah, I think the NFC wildcard race is going to be something really interesting to watch. So I'm definitely gonna be keeping my eye on that, hoping to get some streams in there for those games. But I mean, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting last few weeks. But like, as always, if you guys have any recommendations for us, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, let us know. We're listening to everything you guys tell us. We do this for you guys, so if you have anything, just let us know.
As always, if you like the video, hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, or you've been on this channel, you just like watching the videos, hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to us.
And we'll see you shortly with another video doing the predictions